The first thing I'll do in this example is to create a folder named MATLAB_example at the root of the C drive. One way to do this is to click on the Browse button here and navigate to the root of the C drive. Then, as is usual with Windows, right-click in the folder, select New, and then Folder, and type the folder name in the text box. Then click on Select. This will not only create the directory, but it will also make that directory the current working directory, as you can see in the text box that shows the path to the current working folder. The current folder is important since it's the default location where MATLAB looks when it's trying to find a file. Next, I'll create a folder named ex0p1 in the MATLAB_example folder. To do this, I'll right-click in the current folder window. Select New Folder and type the name of the folder I want. I can also create a new folder in the current folder with the mkdir command. Just type mkdir, a space, and the name of the desired folder. For example, mkdir space test creates a new folder in the current folder named test, which you can see in the current folder window. You can make this folder the new current working folder by double-clicking on it in the current folder window. To get back to the example 0.1 folder as the current folder, use the current folder text box to go back to the MATLAB example folder, and then double-click on example 0.1 in the current folder window. Now I'll create a few variables and use some mathematical operations. This is done in the command window. To create a variable, type the variable name, say x, an assignment operator, which looks a lot like an equal sign, and then the value you want to assign to the variable, 4. To execute the command, press the Enter key on your keyboard. This creates a variable named x, which has the value 4, and puts that variable in the workspace, which is just a section of computer memory. The workspace window lists the variables currently saved in the workspace. Next, I'll create a variable named y that contains the value x plus 5. Just type y equals 5 plus x and press the Enter key. This command uses the defined value for x, which is 4, adds 5 to that to get 9, and saves that value as a variable named y. As a final example, I'll type z equals 2 asterisk, which is the symbol for multiplication, y plus x. The result of the calculation is 22, which is displayed in the workspace window. Before I go on, there are a few rules for variable names. Variable names must start with a letter and can't contain any spaces or special characters other than an underscore. So the command my space y equals 3 results in an error. Next, I'll create a variable that contains a string or a list of numbers and/or letters. Strings are created by placing the elements in the string in a single quotes after the assignment operator. So, to create a string named my country, which contains the country I live in, I can type my country, an assignment operator equals single quote USA, and a single quote to close the string. I can save the contents of the workspace as a file on disk by using the Save Workspace button on the tool strip. To save my current workspace, click on the Save Workspace button and provide a file name. The default is to save the workspace in the current working folder with a .mat file extension. Notice that the file appears in the current folder window. I can clear the contents of the workspace by right-clicking on the workspace window and selecting Clear Workspace. Another approach is to type clear space all at the command prompt. Notice that the workspace window now indicates that there are no variables in the workspace. To load the contents of a file to the workspace, you can click on the Import Data window, select the desired file, and click on Open. But I'll show an alternate approach using commands typed at the command window. To do this, I'll type the load command, followed by the file name at the command prompt, and press Enter. By default, the load command looks in the current working folder for a file with a .mat extension. The workspace window shows that the variables saved in the example ex0p1 file are now in the workspace. We can also see the contents of the workspace by typing who at the command prompt. To see the value of any variable in the workspace, just type the variable name in the command prompt and press the Enter key.